How do you keep on going when everything you know is falling to pieces? How do you keep on rolling with the punches without something to believe in?
Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. So happy to have you here. I am doing a video today on a YouTuber that I wholeheartedly trust, quite frankly. She would be my first YouTuber that I have blindly trusted with anything and everything because she's just that kind of person, and it is Taylor Wynn. She has a YouTube channel that's been up for, I think, 7 or 8 or 9 years. I don't even know. I should know. But I have been watching her for the past 6 years. I found her when I was probably pregnant with my son, who is getting ready to turn 7. So I've probably been watching her closer to 7 years. I just kind of fell in love, which sounds really weird, but she has a very calm and chill vibe about her that I love. She has a very genuine way about her that makes it seem like she wants only the best for you and is only sharing what she thinks is the best and only recommends what she thinks would be the best, which I appreciate. I have also really loved her because she is a fellow migraine sufferer. She doesn't talk much about her health issues on her channel, which I completely understand, but knowing that she had chronic pain and chronic migraines was, I hope this doesn't sound weird, but it was inspiring to me. When you have chronic pain and chronic migraines and it is debilitating to your life, to your day, to your schedule, to your plans, it can feel like you're never going to be able to accomplish anything, that you're never going to be able to be worth anything. And she was the first person that I saw that had chronic pain and chronic migraines and who was still what I thought was immensely successful. She was successful, she was confident, she was beautiful. She had an amazing family and life and relationship, and I was like, okay, maybe I can too. So she was really an inspiration behind my love of YouTube, but also behind me starting my channel, because it is kind of the most beautiful job to have when you're here on YouTube, to be able to work with your schedule. If you're having a migraine that day and everything gets sidetracked versus having to call in sick to work. Also, I am a mom of a 4 and 6-year-old. My 6-year-old is on the autism spectrum. And so when having a child with special needs, it also is beneficial to be able to have a malleable schedule. So she kind of introduced me to that being an option, and through her work ethic and integrity and just genuine amazingness, she's created this channel and this community that I love being a part of, even though I don't know that I've ever commented on a video. Yeah. I have been lurking for 7 years. Basically, I know I'm older than her. I'm 33 and a married mother of 2. And so it felt weird to like comment, and I didn't know what to say, and to be like, I want to be like you, but yet I'm older than her. And you know, what I come across as creepy, as weird, as just plain old. I didn't know. So I like psyched myself out. And so I've just been watching and liking the videos and sharing her with friends and family, but just staying silent. Only in the past month, since I've started my own channel and have realized the benefit of having people comment and like your videos, have I started to try to interact with any YouTuber that I watch to help support them, because I want to, but I'm just now realizing the need and the benefit of that. And I'm finally past the point of psyching myself out of what will they think if, you know, I comment on their video? Because the fact of the matter is, no, they probably won't see it, because most of the YouTubers I watch are very well known, and so they have thousands of comments. So me worrying about that is very self-centered. But I highly recommend checking out her channel. I highly recommend buying anything she tells you to, because Lord knows I do. So first up, we have the Pure Clay Mask from L'Oreal. This was a fantastic mask for pulling out impurities, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had several people come to my house and use it as well, and all have loved it, and this was based on one of her recommendations. Another item that she introduced me to, because I didn't even know it existed, was white mixer. So this is actually a white foundation mixer that you can mix in so that you can make a foundation shade lighter, which is mind-blowing. Because when I started watching her, it was initially because she had acne coverage, and I have had cystic acne-prone skin my entire life. I've always had oily skin with that as well, like she did. And then I also had fairer skin, and it was really hard to find a shade in the drugstore that was light enough. So watching her videos helped me on all three of those fronts and finding products that worked for me. So yeah, the white mixer, this also is great if you have a summer shade that you're wanting to take into winter, because, you know, we're budget babes around here. We don't want to have to buy a whole new thing of foundation. So we buy a mixer at Ulta, is where I got this one, and lighten it, and then you have the right shade all year long. Along those same lines is the lavender concealer. Same concept, except for you put it on top of your concealer or mix in with your concealer, and it brightens up the entire under eye area, especially when you're having trouble finding a light enough concealer. So two that I've used, and I know she has as well, are the Age Rewind and the Maybelline Fit Me, and both of these work really well with the lavender concealer. If the lightest shade of these is not light enough for you, it's fantastic to be able to brighten under the eye with these items, which are just drugstore concealers, but they're still really good. Another thing she has introduced me to is really just the brand Essence. I wasn't familiar with them at all. I had seen them in Ulta, but they were very inexpensive, which made me feel like maybe they were like Claire's makeup, which kind of sounds mean, but it's the truth. And when she talked about using some of their products and them being good, I was like, can I really get good makeup for that cheap? So I went and bought some. So I have the Lash Princess from Essence, as well as the Volume Stylist from them. And then I also had the pink one because she had talked about layering it up. And so I had both of those. This was just the only one I could find. So those are both purchases, and honestly both things that I loved that were very inexpensive that she recommended. The last mascara is the Wet n Wild Mega Length. This was the one she talked about using on her lower lash line because the wand was so thin. And so I went and bought it and used it on my lower lash line and loved it as well. But it has been discontinued, which is the sad state of things, really. Furthermore, she really also introduced me to Physicians Formula, to wanting to try the powders in their brand, which was kind of life-changing for me because she was the first person who ever had an under eye situation like I did, and nothing just sat right underneath them, and it was finding a light enough shade was really hard, especially in powder. And I just didn't know what to do because even like the Coty Airspun or the translucent powders were never translucent, okay? They always ended up darkening my concealer, and it was, you know, I don't want to say nerve-wracking, it's irritating. That's what it was. So she introduced me to the Physicians Formula. It's like a little circle and it has a pastel swirl in the coloring, and it is a super light toned under eye setting powder that also has some coverage, and it became a holy grail product of mine, as well as multiple other Physicians Formula powders that if you can find one, they don't have a great shade range, okay? But if you can find one in your shade, they are really fantastic and they're found at the drugstore. Along those same lines, the Physician Formula eyeliner, if any of you guys have watched a Taylor video in the past couple of years, you've probably seen this. She uses this for her eyeliner and to like make her wing, which always looks amazing, like a baby dove flying off her face, versus mine look like Lily Munster. So yeah, haven't nailed down the actual technique, but I bought the pen thinking it would make it the same. It didn't. Turns out you still have to know what you're doing, even with the right tool. Weird. So yeah. Then we have primers, and I have the Revlon Pore Filling Primer. This was another holy grail of hers that was actually discontinued. I obviously have had mine for a long time, and this was just one of the pore filling options that she said actually worked from the drugstore, which as someone with oily skin, I needed something to help the pores in this area, which were the largest, which is where I'm the oiliest, and this genuinely did work. So hence why so much is gone. So I have the Wet n Wild setting spray. It is, I mean, a really good setting spray, especially for an inexpensive one at the drugstore. It's not my favorite one, but it definitely works if you're on a budget and just looking for something that you can use until you find one you do love. I did buy the foundation in this line, the Photo Focus foundation. I didn't love it. It was beautiful on my skin when I first applied it, even though it did smell like paint thinner when applying it, but it did not last long on my skin. When my oils came through, it started to break up the foundation, and by the end of the day, I looked like I had like small fissures all over my face if you got up close, which not the vibe I'm going for. So that one I actually gave to a friend, but that was actually another purchase recommended by her that just didn't personally work for me. I know it worked amazing for a ton of people and it was an amazing price point. So if that one might work for you, you could pick up the foundation and the setting spray for less than 10 bucks. So another setting spray on the higher end that I tried because of her was the MAC Prep and Prime. She had said that she never saw it look bad on anyone or make anything ever look worse. It is a really good setting spray if you're looking for a more expensive option or wanting to, I don't know, be bougie. So then we move on to foundations, and Taylor is the queen of foundations, okay? Queen. She does a series on her channel called 15 Days of Foundation. And in that series, she tries a new foundation every single day for 15 days. She does a 10-hour wear test and lets you know how it wears throughout the day. She sits with you and goes through the entire application process, half with a brush, half with a sponge, just very thorough, and then does check-ins throughout the day so that we can see how something wears without having to go out and purchase a bunch of new foundations trying to find one that does work for us. She's trying to help narrow the process, which I appreciate. So first I have the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. This one I actually only wore for a small period of time. It's a more dewy foundation, and since I'm oily, normally I don't go for a dewy foundation. But after I had my babies, my hormones went a bit wackadoodle, and I had dry skin, which was a whole new world for me. Yes, it was really weird. So I gave this a try. I actually really enjoyed it, but then after a while, my hormones leveled out and I went back to having oily skin, so I actually don't use it anymore, but I keep it on hand just in case I have a dry day and need a little glow. So next is the Covergirl Clean Mat. This was a BB cream that Taylor had recommended, and rightfully so. It was a super inexpensive BB cream. Obviously you can see I've pretty much used it all, and it was a light BB cream that was inexpensive at the drugstore that still had amazing coverage, which was all the things I wanted. So there was that guy. And then we have the L'Oreal Infallible. I feel like everyone on YouTube loved this, but her recommendation of it and her video on it is what truly sold me that, okay, this actually is not just being overhyped. This is a good foundation. And it turned out to be a great one. I bought 2 or 3 bottles of these in a row. So, and obviously this one's almost gone too. This was my summer shade. So, and then like that's the drugstore version. And I feel like this is the high-end version of that same foundation. And this is the Smashbox Studio Skin. And this was another one that a lot of people liked, but it wasn't until Taylor reviewed it and said that it was in fact full coverage and good that I went and purchased it, because I finally believed it was legit. The Peach Perfect foundation, I watched this in one of the 15 days of foundation, and it was legitimately transfer proof. At the end of the video, she put her face down on like a white hoodie and there was no transfer, which is phenomenal, especially if you're a makeup wearer and have ever hugged someone and left your like face print on their shirt. Yeah, cute. So, my nose itched. So this was a great foundation. It actually has the peach scent and I used it for quite some time. That's why it's almost gone as well. Then we have It Cosmetics. This was a brand that I tried because of Taylor. She said it worked well for her for about the first like 4 or 5 hours, but it didn't wear long term on her skin. I bought a sample size to try again in my summer shade, and I found the same thing to be true. It only lasted for 4 or 5 hours and then it started breaking up on my skin. And while the 4 or 5 hours was beautiful, I don't do 4 to 5 hour wear foundation. As a mom of 2, I get up early in the morning and normally I do my foundation first thing in the morning and then I don't touch it the rest of the day. I don't have time to be jacking around with my makeup and touch-ups and all of that good jazz. I like a good full coverage, long wearing, and done. So this was not, we weren't a match. Should have swiped left, right, swipe right. I've never used a dating app. I've been with my husband for 10 years. So, and then the last foundation was the number 7 foundation drops. These are at Target. And basically she had talked about the fact that you could add more coverage to a foundation with using these, which again, she said Target and full coverage and more coverage. I'm there. So I went and bought these. The only downfall is that they are rather dark, especially in their lightest shade. So I really have to lighten them, and I can't really add them into any foundation that it won't make it too dark unless it's like the height of summer. So I don't tend to gravitate towards these just because I have other foundations that already match my skin tone. So therefore it makes it faster just to use one of those, and I'm all about fast when it comes to getting my makeup on. So I also did purchase the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea and the Josie Marin Vibrancy foundation because of Taylor. They were ones that she reviewed and looked beautiful on her skin, okay? Beautiful. I purchased them and they looked like a messy oil canvas. It's pretty much what it looked like. Both of them are more dewy foundations, so I should have known, but they look beautiful on her. So those 2 are actually ones that I returned and got different foundations or different items because they just, with one application, I knew that it wasn't going to work. So then I also have deodorant. If you've seen in my empties, the Old Spice Bear Glove. I know a couple of you have already messaged me saying that you've purchased it and you love it too. Trying out the Old Spice deodorant was actually a Taylor thing, that she's the one that encouraged me to try that. She fell in love with, I believe, their amber scent, but for me, it's Bear Glove all day, every day, Bear glove. So then we have what is probably the most embarrassing, but her laundry detergent. Yes, I bought even the laundry detergent. So she recommended this, and it really is amazing. It smells so good, and the smell actually lingers on your clothes, like after you put them in, like fold them and put them away and you pull them back out a couple days later, like it still smells amazing. And so I have the laundry detergent. I also have the Unstoppables, the Downy Unstoppables, and like the Tide scent, which she recommended. And I have those upstairs and didn't bring them down because my husband already thought I was crazy because I was toting our laundry detergent off with me to go film. So, you know. I also have the Crest White Strips. I clearly need to use them. Mom has been drinking a lot of coffee. But these are what she uses, and her teeth are the whitest of white. They're the Snow White of teeth, okay? The fairest of fair, beautiful. So since she did, I want to be like her. So I bought some once they went on sale and I had a coupon because they're rather expensive. And then what's possibly last but not least is the Soap and Glory. A couple years ago, she did a partnership or a collaboration with Soap and Glory, and because of her talking about it, it's what drew me to go to the store and look for it and try it myself, and I ended up enjoying it. So this is the Righteous Butter. I've also used the body wash and the body spray. All of them were amazing, and yeah, I've loved it all. So I don't know if I should be ashamed to admit this, but this is not all of the things that I have purchased because of Taylor. This was just the things that I could find in the last 10 minutes. Because I had a quick minute to do a video. My husband is home today and the kids were going down for quiet time. And so I was grabbing a bunch of things because I had the idea to do this. And I know I'm forgetting things, but like the L'Oreal 5-in-1 hair mask for the shower that's like in the yellow bottle or tub. She talked about that and how it was really great for repairing damaged hair. And so I, of course, went and bought it, and it's one I've actually repurchased. So I've really enjoyed it as well. So there's little things like that that I know I'm forgetting, and probably some food recommendations. Chobani coffee creamer. That was totally Taylor. Totally Taylor. My Chobani coffee creamer that I love was her. And then also the Voltaren Arthritis pain relief. She had put on her stories one morning that she almost brushed her teeth with it. And but that it was a really good pain reliever. And so I went to Walgreens immediately and purchased it, and I use it like on my neck when it gets really tense to try to avoid headaches and migraines, and it works amazing. And that was totally because of her. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is go watch Taylor's channel. I got super insecure when I was getting ready to film this video, and I was like, maybe I should put on a prettier shirt, maybe I should do my hair nicer, maybe I should, what if Taylor's watching me? And then I realized I have 23 subscribers. I don't need to change my shirt. Taylor's not gonna see me. So here we are. But I want to tell my 23 peeps that you should go check out Taylor's channel. Her channel is amazing. She is amazing. I love her. Her boyfriend is amazing, even though I've never even seen his face. What I know about him is amazing. And her dad, who's been on her channel so many times, is the most precious thing ever. And I just love him. As someone who didn't grow up with having a dad around, he's what I would imagine a dad being like, or a dad, what having a dad around would look like. I don't know. That seems like I just went depressing. Never mind. Her dad's great is what I'm trying to say. He's precious, and in some of her videos, and just the whole family is great. So I suggest you go watch, subscribe, and comment. Don't be like me. Don't lurk for 7 years. Comment on the channel. It helps your creator. So, I guess in case Taylor does watch this, I want to tell her thank you so much for inspiring me in so many ways. And to the people who have watched this video, I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. I am sending you all so much love, and I hope that in 2021 we can all curate the content that we consume to be positive, joy-filled, and honest. And for me, that's exactly what Taylor's content is, which is why I wanted to share it here at the beginning of the year. So, again, I'm sending so much love. Thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you next time.